Attorneys, in this video, we're going to talk about how to create a culture of AI in your law firm. Now, this video isn't about what tools to buy. It's really about how to get your team to actually use them. Because the tool is typically it's never the problem. The culture is. Quick context, my name is Hugo E. I'm the founder of Legal Staff Now. My companies have helped over 500 law firms nationwide with staffing, with marketing. We've been featured on the Inc. 5000, featured in Bloomberg Law. And ultimately, we've seen every condition from early adoption to no adoption to high adoption in AI productivity. And that's what we want to help you out with today. So there was a study earlier this year that found that more than 90% of surveyed lawyers already use at least one AI tool. That should come as no surprise. But 39% cite lack of training and 39% cite ethical concerns as the main barriers. So the adoption is happening. The culture to support it is not. And that's a gap. So a lot is changing in this environment. And the biggest question has changed from should we do this to how do we do this? This shift happened late last year. And if your firm is still debating whether to use AI, you're already 2 years behind. In a recent Wolters Kluwer webinar series, they found that, quote, AI adoption in legal is a strategic and cultural transformation, not just a tech upgrade. The reality is that the firms that treat AI like software or a software purchase, they'll simply fail. The firms that treat it like a cultural shift, they succeed. So how do we get there? I find that the first step to become AI native is you need to appoint an AI champion. This isn't an IT person. This isn't someone that, is a salesperson for an AI tech service. It should be a lawyer or a paralegal who understands the day-to-day work and puts that application into place today. They set the example. They set the bar. Joe Stevens, a consulting attorney and legal AI expert, he says of the situation that, quote, the firms that will dominate are those building internal teams of legally trained technologists who can evaluate tools, customize implementations, train resistant practitioners, and measure real outcomes. He finds that the bottleneck really isn't budget, nor is it the tools. It's the absence of someone who can bridge law and technology. Your AI champion is the person who translates tech into the workflow. They don't write code. They just redesign how the work gets done. They run the tests, which are oftentimes called pilots or sandboxes. They train the skeptics. They usually show, one feature at a time or one innovation at a time. And then they also measure the results. Every firm needs an AI champion. Most firms have zero. My recommendation is that it always starts with the founding attorney, just showing what the promised land looks like. So now you have your AI champion. So what's next? Start with the workflow, not the whole firm. And this is where a lot of firms go crazy. They try to transform their whole business at once and then overwhelm everyone. And then the technology gets just dismissed very quickly. So pick a task, one practice group, one pain point, run a 30-day pilot, measure the results. If it works, expand. If it doesn't, just adjust. But don't roll it out across the whole team on day one and expect the whole business to be transformed. That's how you create resistance instead of adoption. So when we're thinking about a task, think about something very small. The lowest barrier to entry to most AI tech is AI summaries. When your meetings end, you should have an AI summary email to you. When that email summary comes in, it should have a series of action items. And a trigger or an agent should be able to read that and do things as a result of what's in the AI summary, like reach out to such and such person on that follow-up email for certain cases, or book this meeting with this one vendor regarding this outage. That should all be done automatically, but pick one very narrow pain point and try to automate it. There's a study by Attorney at Work. It's called the Legal AI Tools Report. They found this similar pattern that firms that saw meaningful results started with small tests or small pilots in a single workflow or practice group. Early wins created momentum without overwhelming the staff. You just need a small win and an obvious win, something that says this tech is moving the needle, even by one, basis point percentage. You can scale from the proof, not from the promises. Now, tip number 4 is more of a mindset. You need to kill the age myth. AI enthusiasm, frankly, has no age correlation. The idea that only young lawyers embrace AI is wrong. A lot of research proves this. There was a roundtable of knowledge and innovation leaders from many law firms across the country, and they found something that's surprising. Quote, experts note that they haven't seen any correlation between age and level of enthusiasm for AI adoption. Letting go of that stereotype is critical to cultural shift. So your 60-year-old partner is just as likely to adopt AI as your 28-year-old associate, if you train them properly. The barrier to entry is really training, not age. So give everyone in your team, your most senior people to the most junior level people, the same onboarding path. Most law firms skip training for partners because they assume partners won't be interested. That assumption is a cultural failure. We're seeing it across all of our clients right now that everyone is adopting some form of workflow optimization or task automation, regardless of the role, because they need some buy-in right now. Tip number 5, write an AI policy before someone makes a mistake. Because right now, most firms have people using AI with zero guardrails. So there's a stat by Affinipay from last year that says 31% of lawyers personally use AI at work, but only 21% of firms have formally adopted it. That means there are people in your law firm right now using AI. They're using Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, and they're uploading data, really sensitive information. And frankly, they're doing it without a policy, without the guardrails, without the guidelines. And that could give you some exposure. So your policy should cover what data can be entered, what tools are approved, who reviews AI output as quality assurance. Importantly, how client confidentiality is maintained. This isn't bureaucracy, it's risk management. Write it before someone in your team puts really sensitive client data into ChatGPT or Google Gemini. Tip number 6, measure hours saved, not just revenue generated. This is how you can prove ROI and also build more internal buy-in. In the Wolters Kluwer's 2026 survey, they found that 62% of respondents report weekly time savings of 6 to 20%, average nearly 10% of the work week. Additionally, 52% of organizations report revenue growth after implementing some type of AI. So think about it this way. If your firm is billing $2 million a year, that's an additional $200,000 in recovered capacity. So here's what you want to track. You want to track the adoption rates. What percentage of team members, employees, contractors are using these tools? Track hours saved per person per week, especially with your AI champion. They should be obsessed about tracking this so that they could show it off to the rest of their team. Track the amount of AI prompts per day. Track the tokens. In fact, I know some law firms that are bonusing their team members based on how many tokens they're using in Claude. So don't wait for just revenue to prove ROI. Revenue is always a lagging indicator. Hours saved, capacity, utility, those are the numbers, those are the metrics that tell you whether adoption is working right now. Tip number 7, make AI a daily habit, not some monthly experiment. These aren't pet projects anymore. The firms that use AI once a quarter get nothing from it. The firms that use it every day, they become different businesses. They become very competitive. There's a report by My Case that found that 85% of lawyers who use generative AI use it daily or weekly. 82% of these users found that AI increases their overall efficiency. So daily usage is the minimum. It's the threshold. Below that, you're experimenting. Above that, you're transforming. And if you find yourself in that 15% of lawyers who aren't using generative AI daily or weekly, frankly, you're going to be left behind. So if you have a daily stand-up, build a daily AI check-in. Have a show and tell. My team does that every Friday. Build it into case closing checklist. Make it part of how work gets done, not something that people try when they have free time. Nobody has free time. That's why it's on us as leaders to tell our team how to embed this technology into their workflow. So here's a quick recap. If you want to build an AI-first culture, you need to change your mindset from should we to how do we implement this. You always want to appoint an AI champion. It typically should be the founder or someone close to the top, not just an IT person. Start with the workflow. not the whole firm transformation. Tip number 4, kill the age myth. There's no correlation with AI adoption enthusiasm with age. Tip number 5, write an AI policy before someone makes a costly mistake. Number 6, measure hours saved, not just revenue generated. And number 7, make AI a daily habit, not a monthly experiment. So again, AI is not a tool you buy. It's a culture you build. The firms that build a culture adopt faster, they retain better, and they scale further than the firms that just buy the software and hope that someone uses it. At Legal Staff Now, we place virtual talent that's already AI ready. They're trained on many of these tools. They know how to embed themselves and these tools into your workflows. Day one, you build a culture and we provide the people who thrive in it. So if you're ready to build an AI-ready team, we'll help you get there. Book a call. Link is in the call notes. Let's talk.